Welcome back, everybody. Frank Vespi here. John Piasek there. Hello, John.
Hey Frank, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I missed you last week. Didn't get to do a video, and it might have worked out for the best because they were off the grass. But we're back in action this Saturday. Hopefully, the weather turns out a bit nicer. Hopefully, no more thunder and lightning delays. And it's a very nice sequence. I'm excited to dig into.
Yes, and hopefully no match race this week. We had a match race last week, which you don't see every day, but hopefully none of those this week. Late pick five starts in race five, 12% takeout. All you got to do is pick five winners in a row. And John, why don't we dive in here? Start with a couple of your spotlight horses, and the first of those comes in the fifth race.
Well, this week's theme is In Russell We Trust, as both of my singles are trained by Brittany Russell, ridden by Sheldon. First one I'm talking about is number 8, Lil Regard, making her first start since late August at Colonial Downs, but that was a very impressive effort. She got well bet in her debut race, went off at 9-2, was well off a not super fast early pace on the turn. It looked like Sheldon had tons of horse. He really didn't ask her to go until the last eighth. She was still about 3 lengths off the pace late. Sheldon got into her, and she delivered, turning in a strong late kick to win by a half length. She went off at eight. She was 8-5 on the morning line in a first level race at Laurel in late October. She was scratched out of that race, went to the sidelines not long after. And Russell apparently thought enough of her to enter her against New York Breds at Aqueduct 2 weeks ago for her first start off the bench. She got on the also eligible list in that race, ended up scratching. We also right back here for a local spot. I know she hasn't raced in that long, but she showed a lot of promise on debut. It's not a strong field by first level standards. And if she runs anything like she does at first asking, and as long as she gets a decent trip from off the pace, she'll be tough to hold off.
It was a super impressive turn of foot, as you said, coming in between. In fact, Jason Beam, the track announcer at Colonial Downs, kind of at the end of when she got up at the end, he went, "Wow!"
Yeah,
So you
that kind
don't
of
hear
race.
that every day. So good looking win there for Lil Regard, for Brittany Russell, Sheldon Russell, Morris Bailey, the owner, daughter of Instilled Regard. All right, let's head a couple races ahead here to continue your In Russell We Trust theme in the eighth race with the number four horse, New King.
Yes, this is a fairly recent arrival in the Russell Barn, and a Maryland bred by 2500 determined stud. This one made his debut for Russell in the Frank Whiteley Stakes back on April 12th on a cold, muddy day. And he made, considering it was his first local start and he only had one local workout under his belt, a pretty strong move. He sat off the pace, struck the front briefly at the top of the stretch, and finished a very nice second, losing only to his very nice stablemate, Worcester. Ended up about 3 lengths clear of third place, 7's11. Ran a very nice business figure that day of 99. He was in a bit over his head last time out in the Knicks Go Stakes on the Derby undercard. He got pressed into a very fast pace on the outside and unsurprisingly backed up badly. That race is a total toss. I think 6 furlongs is a lot more his speed. He's proven that he can race well over this track, and he's taking I think, a bigger drop in class than it looks on paper. I don't think anybody else in this field is especially strong. I know he'll be a low price, but he'll be a good horse to build a pick five ticket around.
Now, in that race, the Whiteley that you referenced, pretty good effort there. I mean, as you said, I mean, it was an interesting day because it was really a day that played to closers on the outside. There, I think about seven of the races were won by a horse that was either last or second to last in the early running. So, for him to have been pretty close to the pace and then stay on is a pretty good effort. Now, are you worried here at all about the Brendan Walsh shipper, Call Me Andy?
He absolutely should have won his last start on grass. He looked like an absolute layover on paper. He got a perfect trip, and he lost to Benny Havens, who snapped a very long losing streak in that race.
Very
Yes, it was on
long.
grass. This is dirt, but that race still left me pretty cold. I think he'll get overbet because of his connections, and I think New King's ceiling on dirt is just much higher.
All right, so New King is single in the eighth. New King going to probably be a pretty strong favorite in here. I think your other horse, Little Regard, may not be favored in the in that leg. So nice to be able to single a horse not the favorite. Let's put
Absolutely.
up your ticket here, and why don't you walk us through it?
So as I said, Lil Road is a single in the first leg, going three deep in race six, a maiden race on the dirt, rhythm and blues. Jane Sabelli second off the bench, 6-year-old baby cutting back around. Back to one turn from two, and then number 11, pediatrician. Ran a nice second on this track on debut, and then was in over his head on the Derby Day undercard. Race seven, back in the grass, going three deep here. You couldn't make a case for singling Cake's Arrow as he has a lot of early speed, but I am a bit wary of singling speed dependent horses. So I'm throwing in the 5, St. John's, for Jack Fisher, and the 7, Villain, who is going second off the bench for Lindsay Schultz. As I said, singling New King in race 8. And then race 9, if you have any kind of opinion about it, you are a better handicapper than me. It's a 12 horse field. I'm hitting the all button because everybody kind of looks the same to me. So I'm just going to chew on New King in race 8 and hope for a good price in the nightcap.
The all button in a 12 horse field. I like it. It's bold. What is that ticket going to cost us?
$54. It's 3 by 3 by 12. As you mentioned earlier, I'm kind of hoping Lil Pagode does not go off as the favorite, kind of juice up those prices a little bit. And as I said, if I catch a price in race 6 or race 9, it'll be all the better. If you're a little more budget conscious, as I said, you could single Cake's Arrow as well in race 7. That would cut it down to only $18.
Would you single Cake's Arrow in lieu or before cutting down, going to less than the all button in the last race?
No, because I mean, I've been handicapping here for over 5 years. I don't think I've ever seen a race that looked more incomprehensible on paper than this one. It really is like, where do you even start cutting a horse? So I'm happy to go all in
Okay.
the last race and hope like some 70 to 1 bomb comes in and makes it very exciting.
All right. John Piazzik with a $54 pick five ticket. Late pick five starts on rate in race five Saturday at Laurel Park, 12% takeout. John, good luck. Last thing, I'll let you go. Who's going to win the Belmont?
As of right now, as we are filming this on Thursday morning, as of now, it is Sovereignty. I thought he ran really nice in the Derby, and he'll get a pace to close into. But it's a tough race. That opinion subject to change.
All right. Sounds good. All right, John, good luck on Saturday, and we'll talk to you next week.